Jewel and NECA. We'll go ahead and fire away. Percy. Start us out. We'll go to Jeff Brown.
Mhm.
Awesome, guys. I guess it's for either NECA or for Jewel. As a team, it seemed as if your physicality and your poise were like the defining traits for this game. Just how did you guys use your physicality and poise to like seemingly wear down Indiana?
I mean, we wanted to come out, we wanted to dictate the tempo of the game, the energy of the game. This is a team that is in I guess like a reformation mode. And so everybody is playing with a lot of energy and as if they have so much to lose because they want to come out here and do well, and to be not saying that they have so much to lose, but they're playing as if they do, because the energy and the atmosphere in this place, I mean, it's a lot. You can tell that they're playing for the city, they're playing for the crowd. And so we wanted to make sure that we could match their home court energy.
And then I guess for like Jewel, you guys were up 47-41 at halftime, big third quarter, 34-18, went up 81-59 in the fourth. The things that went right in that third quarter were what?
A lot of it was composure. Some of it was us being able to get stops. We got a lot of deflections, some quick runouts, to kind of get our offense running. And because we were able to get so many defensive stops, we were able to just flow in. And that's when plays, and that's when we're at our best, is able to just push, set a drag screen, and score. But we were also executing what we were trying to do on offense as well. We understood their defensive schemes, and kind of baited certain things and got what we wanted. So we were very patient on both ends of the floor, but we kind of just locked in defensively and we're able to really use that to get us going on offense.
There you go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Percy. Jeff Brown, and then we'll go to Masvita.
Yeah, first for NECA. So you guys finished the month of May with a 5-3 record and 4 straight wins. Kind of, what have you learned about the team so far in this first month?
I learned that we're tough. I've learned that we're kind of coming together in a cohesive way, but in a way that, gives each other the confidence that we need to come out here and stick to the game plan, face the opponent that's, directly in front of us. And it feels really good to have all of that manifest into, as you can see, like just such a wide spread on the score sheet tonight. I think that's something that's through this kind of like win streak or through these last few games, that's something that we're seeing. There's a lot of consistency from many people, and we want to continue to build off of that.
And for Joel, you and Skylar combined for 40 points, 15 assists, and 57% shooting. What did you see out of Skylar? And either if you want to evaluate your performance or if NECA wants to evaluate your performance.
Honestly, we were just trying to get in the paint. I think, we both have a knack for getting to the paint and creating off that, slowing down a little bit and got a rhythm early. I think when we both kind of get to the rim early, kind of opened up our jump shots and our threes and things like that. But we were just playing with a little more poise and pace to our things and be able to just use, great screeners, and our spacing was really good tonight too. I think that's a big factor for us, is getting to know each other and knowing where to be for each other. And our spacing allowed us to kind of pick apart the defense when we needed to and create some shots and make some plays.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. We'll go to Masvita and then Christian.
Thanks. Hey, just starting out with NECA, I guess I'll start with you. You were alluding to the fact that there are a lot of people scoring, a lot of diversity in that. But if I flip the script, that talks, you had 29 assists. So that talks to maybe the unselfishness of the team. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's been a point of emphasis from Noe. She's been wanting us to move the ball more. I mean, we know that everyone can score. A lot of people on our team can create shots for themselves. But I think the most efficient way for us to be able to really win games and compete is to do both, but mostly like move our bodies, move the ball, and find the open person. It's a part of the chemistry aspect of things. And I think that when we don't overthink stuff on offense, it's it's very natural for anyone on our team to find the open person and then know that, you know, they have the right shot.
And Jewel, y'all talk about how defense is important, but can you just talk about the buy-in from the team defense perspective, not just individual, not the micro, but how the micro is helping with the macro, and it's helping your offense?
I mean, honestly, even from last year, we knew we could be a defensive team. That's something that we harped on is, you know, our defense, because we looked at our roster and felt like we were able to switch a lot of things, and we were athletic. And you had in obviously Jordan, who's like our, you know, I don't know, like Swiss Army knife, and she's so athletic and could guard 1 through 5 when needed. And so now you add another, you know, 3 people who want to play defense and have that anchor in that. And you know, we understand, like, we want to play defense. That's something that I feel most teams maybe don't say. But this team is like, we don't want to be scored on. There's a pride, individual pride, but there's also a team pride. It's like, we don't want to get beat. We don't want to let someone down. And that just, honestly, I think that's just natural with this team. It's something that we have to really harp on. It's just, we kind of look at each other like, all right, let's get a stop. And we're like, all right, let's do it. It obviously helps when you have, you know, coming from Skylar, she's, you know, she starts it, and you have one person going all in, everyone else follows. And so we have that. We have obviously our anchor as he, you know, clean things up. So it's like we have everyone who really wants to help each other out on defense, and that really helps us throughout the games.
Thank you both.
Thanks, Bonds. We'll go to Christian and then we'll wrap up with Candace.
Hey, Jewel and NECA. You know, on the media day, Skylar said she believed it would take 5 to 7 games to fully adjust the team's language on the court. And then that 5th game was the first game of the team's 4-game win streak right now. You know, there's been so many points throughout these last couple of games where there have been so many different runs from other teams, and the team has stayed together as far as Seattle, staying the pace, not really letting anything disrupt the game flow. And it's really been from everybody, whether it be you, Jewel, Skylar, Ezzy. I mean, Jordan come off the bench, Mercedes in the post. It's really a team effort. What does it mean to you guys knowing that you're barely scratching the surface of what this team can be?
I mean, that was that was excellent kind of foresight from Sky. Like, I think that I was asked that question too. And I couldn't really give you a timeline, but I knew that it was going to come together eventually. You know, we had a really good training camp, and then coming into the season really quickly trying to figure out how to get wins and also gel. And it's taken us a little bit of time, but I'm encouraged with the timeline in which things are coming together, and also knowing that we can get wins while we're doing it. You know, we're not at all where we necessarily want to be, but we're heading in that direction. And that feels really good knowing that. And, you know, kind of going off of what Jewel was saying, like, I think everybody not only understands their role, but like embraces it and also understands each other's roles. And so we know how to play hard and communicate with each other, and then also put each other in good positions when we're out there on both ends of the floor. And that commitment to win every possession on offense and defense, I think, is a big reason why we're able to gel a little bit more, especially with us wanting to set the tone.
Thanks, Christian. Candace and then Bella.
Hey y'all. So you guys already touched on a little bit the importance of team defense and how important defense is to you guys as a unit. I was just really curious about your thoughts on Ezzy's performances specifically so far this season, and just how your team defense has benefited and really flourished with her presence on the court. And I guess this is maybe more so for NECA, just how it's been getting a feel for working alongside her defensively this season, and just the tiny things other than her shot blocking that you've seen that have really benefited the team's defense overall.
Yeah, I actually was just talking to Ezzy about this yesterday. I love the kind of like the support that I have on the backside. You know, I try to do my best to know my personnel and make sure I'm in the right spots. I'm definitely kind of more of like a helper, like being aggressive on the ball, but then knowing that there's someone on the backside that has my back. You know, she's kind of just, you know, the Marshall of our defense. Like, she sees everything, she anticipates things, and she's the finisher, you know. And I think it's something that we've always known that she can do. But, you know, in my first year of being here, it feels as though she's kind of assuming that role, and there's a stature that she has when she's playing on defense, that serves as kind of like the anchor, as Jules says, and like the protector that we have down there. Not as like a bailout, but as someone that can kind of really just finish the job. And I love her attitude towards defense. You know, I know what she's capable of, but I think her attitude is really what kind of turns it up a notch.
And we'll wrap up with Bella. Bella, go ahead.
Thanks for the time, guys. I want to ask both of you about Victoria Vivian's. Noelle talked previously.
Sorry,
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, we can hear you. Sorry.
So the Zoom said it looked like I was done talking, so I was confused. Your coach had said that she is able to really impact the game without necessarily getting a lot of touches or taking a lot of shots, maybe things that don't show up in the box score. Could you just talk about sort of the role she plays and how she is able to affect the game, even if it doesn't show up?
Yeah, I think people kind of low-key forget about her. You know, she's a vet in this league. She's been in this league for a while, and she knows personnel, and she's very smart when she comes to figuring out how to be a disruption on defense and even on offense. You know, for us, she's been very vocal in our huddles when we're talking about certain things and schemes, making sure she's very knowledgeable about the details. And honestly, her defense has been really helpful these games. You know, the little, maybe taking away denial, deflections, come up with big offensive rebounds. She's kind of always in the right spots for us to execute on both ends of the floor. And she, like I said, I think her ability to understand the details on, her person that she's guarding, or even on offense, helps her a lot. But yeah, I mean, she's been just consistent for us, and she probably doesn't get mentioned enough. But yeah, she's been helpful for us. And like I said, she's always in the right spot, comes up with a big rebound, big block, big deflection, whatever it is, right when we need it.
Well, thanks, ladies. Appreciate it. Well,
Thanks.
Coach,
Thank you.
All right, we're all set with Coach Quinn. Percy, start us out.
Awesome. Hey, the coach. It seemed as if your physicality and poise told the story of this game. Just how did you guys use both that physicality and like poise to seemingly wear down Indiana?
Again, starting on the defensive side of the ball, being very attentive to our scout, whether it was Clark, whether it was Kelsey Mitchell. I know Smith got a little bit loose at the beginning, but meeting their physicality with physicality, sustaining it. And we talked about if we get stops, we can run. Even in our, half court offense, there are things that we can get if we're very intentional about, being aggressive and being physical. So again, both sides of the ball, but I will start on the defensive side of the ball.
And just from your on being on the sideline, just did you particularly see anything in that Clark Vivian sort of dust up there? And also the same with the Chrissy Sides technical, on TV, didn't really get a chance to see what led to that, but we did see the Clark Vivian sort of tanglement there.
I didn't see it, but what I saw is competitors on the floor playing hard and competing at a high level. Chrissy, supporting her team, just a high level competition.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Let's go to Jeff Brown and we'll go to Maz. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. So you start the season 0-2, but finish the month of May 5-3 with 4 straight wins. How do you kind of evaluate the team's performance over the first month? And what did you learn about your team?
Well, we are a resilient bunch. We started off the season with a very tough schedule, knowing that we didn't have a lot of prep time, but we had to get better in games, in film. And I feel like we have a professional, locked-in group, very mature, want to be better every single day. And that's what you're seeing. We're not there yet, but we're showing signs of a lot of growth in a lot of areas. Not trying to pay attention to a record at all. Just want to get better every single day.
In the third quarter, over the past 2 games against Chicago, you were a +11, and this one you're +16. What do you like about your team's adjustments after halftime?
I like that they're talking and figuring out with each other. It's not just coaches talking to players, players talking with each other, to the bench talking to those who are on the floor, and vice versa, to see where our adjustments need to be made. And a lot of times I'm coming into the huddle or into the locker room, they've already talked about it because they see it. And what it is there's not a panic in our group at all. Whether it's if we're down, whether it's we're playing well and teams go on runs, there's a poise about the leadership, where it's coming from those three, Jewel, Nneka, Skylar, or from our senior advisor and Sammy. There's always a poise about us that kind of gets us on track, and just seeing resilience and seeing patience with the growth in this journey.
Very late in the game, Indiana goes on an 11-0 run while you had sat the starters. Jordan, though, she makes a few good plays. I think she scores twice and also kicks it out to Kiana for a 3. What did you kind of see out of Jordan in those final minutes? And then also just her growth in her ability to maybe her offense and shooting kind of inside the paint, I feel like has been a pretty big improvement from last year.
That's what she's worked on in the off season, is those things exactly. Being more efficient around the rim. She couldn't use her right shoulder for a long time, so she was working on her left hand. She's been tweaked her jump shot a little bit, her 3-point shots. She's been working at a tremendous rate. She's very serious about wanting to improve and be a great player in this league. In those moments, I saw aggressiveness. She knew that she can attack her matchup and really dominate her matchup. Defensively, she was using her athleticism and her speed to get her hands on balls, and that's what she can do for us consistently.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Maz, and then we'll go to Christian.
Hey, Coach, you said your team is resilient, professional, locked in. Is it fair to add unselfish in that?
Yeah, 29 assists.
Right.
It's a little kind of back that up. Yeah, the unselfishness is, it's showing up in the box score, but to me, it's not only on the court. It's, what I see in the locker room, what I see on the plane, what I see after games. It's like the moments that aren't basketball, I think it really impact these moments as well. Talk about the accountability partners and, our group trying to accelerate our chemistry. There's some selflessness in that, to know that I have to get out of myself and be more team oriented so that we can accelerate this thing. And so what it is not only selflessness, but it's just getting a feel for our system and each other and chemistry building on the court. It's still early, but I think we're finding, some spots to really be chemistry driven.
And what does it say? What does it do for you, a defensive-minded coach, when your all-stars are coming on in our Zoom and saying, we want to play great team defense, and it starts with our defense? Just what kind of space does that put you in, and what's the potential there for this team?
Yeah, it's great to know that there's buy-in there and there's investment there, and there is accountability there, because we have the pieces that can play defense on a high level. And when you have new pieces trying to figure out each other, the more locked in they can be on that end of the floor to stop other teams, then, there's some grace in what happens on the offensive end. But, you can play faster. You can play in transition when you're able to be solid defensively. I love that, we're locked in onto that side of the ball, because it's important. It's not, you have to play offense. We have to play defense, and we know offense is, everybody loves to play offense. But if we can really have a dog defensive mentality, it helps this early chemistry building stage.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Maz. Christian, and then we'll wrap up with Candace. Christian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. Dealing with so many different variables to start the season, new players coming in, learning a system, all gelling in one. There's so many different times, ebbs and flows of the game kind of knock the team off their rhythm. But, with the last 5 games, that hasn't really been the test of the story. We've seen it from all the different players: Skylar, Nneka, Ezzy, Jordan, Mercedes off the bench. Really just a team effort in almost all of these games. And the second part of my question is, 7 of the next 9 before these last 2 games are on the road. With the team flying charter since the New York game, I think on the 21st, anything that you're seeing, like you said, most important things off the court as far as chemistry building? What are you seeing on the plan, and things that you could share with us?
Yeah, sorry, what was the first part of your question?
Oh, sorry. Team contributions over the last couple games.
Oh, yeah.
Skylar with 21 assists and only 7 turnovers in the last like 4 games, I think.
Yeah. One thing that I really like notice about the group is the points of emphasis or the corrections that we need to make. They really lock in on that, and they don't want to hear my mouth about it, as Skylar will say, because it's like they want to do the right thing, and I think that's a lot of what's happening. The turnovers have been our Achilles heel, so that has been a greater focus. Moving the ball and ball movement as we're learning each other has been also a point of emphasis, and they're trying to do the right thing. And again, when I talk about this investment, there's this buy-in from, our starting group that trickles down to our other role players, and because they know what their roles are, they're able to be superstars in their roles and really hold each other accountable and themselves accountable to those roles. So Sadie's being more aggressive, Jordan doing what she does defensively, Sammy continuing to be a sniper. These are all things that those players know that they can do at a high level, and they're trusting our main guys to hold them accountable, but also bring them in as well. And on the charter flight, I'm watching film all the time. I don't know what's going on in the front of the plane. But a lot of card games, they're sitting with each other. So lots of conversation. Again, I'll talk about these accountability partners that we have. They have to have touch points with them on these road trips, whether it's coffee, dinner, lunch, and learn about each other outside of basketball and bring that back to the group. You just have a really cool group of women who like to be around each other and understand that it's greater than just hooping. It's about experiencing one another and enjoying this journey with each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Kristen. We'll go to Candace to wrap up.
Hey, Coach. I just had a quick question for you about Ezzy's performance tonight, and just her performances to start this season overall. She just continues to have her name land in some pretty amazing lists of folks who have played in WNBA in terms of just the things that she's doing during games, especially with her shot blocking. And I was just curious your thoughts on just how well she's transitioned into working alongside some newer faces in the starting lineup defensively this season, and just how great it's been to see her be such a leader defensively this season for this team.
Yeah, her number one role is to be a defensive anchor, and she's living in that. And I think, early on in the season, she's trying to figure out how to play with Nneka. And the cool part about it is, like, I know Ezzy may look at Sky and Nneka as these big superstars who maybe she grew up watching or whatever it is, but they look at her in the same light. And I love that. That resonates with me because it shows, like, who she is and how humble she is, but also how good of a basketball player she is as well. She is really, really cleans up a lot of stuff defensively for us, and the blocks, but also this year she's more confident in her scheme calling, and I hear her being vocal, and that's one of the things we've been talking about for the past couple of seasons is like, now that and are comfortable defensively, now you have to be vocal back there, and I see the growth in that aspect. But also, just like in Chicago, she's capable of giving us some offensive firepower too, pushing the ball up the floor, finding players and finishing efficiently around the rim. So it's not just defensively for us, that's where it starts, but the offense really helps us as well.
All right.
I'm so sorry. I just had a really quick follow-up. I was just curious, Nneka actually just a moment ago, she referred to Ezzy as the Marshall on defense for the team. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and whatever, all synonyms, Marshall, anchor, I don't know if that's a synonym, but yes, everything that encompasses whatever. Nneka went to Stanford, so I trust that's what Ezzy embodies.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
See everybody back in Seattle.